Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Deus Ex Human Revolution. The last episode we went 10 minutes long, thinking we were going to finish this final boss fight, and in the middle of the final boss fight we died. So now we're going to load the latest save and see where that puts us. What is firing at anything?
To access Alpha Pod, purge tertiary pods.
So you could try to hack all the computers and do all of this stuff, but all we really need to do, since we have the password here, is find this, type this in, and then turn off the security system.
Tertiary pods initiate. Total system purge in effect.
These guys are down, or turned down now.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
Where did you get that gold? From that fool down.
So, if I want
This
to,
will not stop me, Jensen.
in my own mind, story-wise, keep these guys alive, I need to keep them away from...
No. Wait. It's initiating
From-
emergency protocol.
Okay, this is no good.
You don't know
This
the
is no
resources
good,
they have at
and
their
this doesn't
disposal,
make any
Jensen.
sense.
Despite your
Why don't I have the ability to take out that? Oh, I never got it. Wow. I never got it.
Genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time. Initiate dissipation protocol.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Halfway to discharge sequence.
So whatever turns red here
You betrayed
is
them.
what we need to...
Primary pod compromised.
These guys are gonna get killed.
Security measures activated. Evacuate area.
Nope, nope, nope. So this has become a weird game of, like, Simon Says?
Alpha pod
I
security
suppose.
in place. To access Alpha pod, purge tertiary pods.
Like,
Warning.
you could have just pushed all those buttons,
Alter the signal. Once I
too, I suppose.
the council will welcome me with open arms.
Pod 1. Safety.
No! Mother! Stay away! Stay away!
Warning. Manual override of tertiary pods initiated. Total system
Okay.
purge in effect.
So we
Shutting
throw a
down
grenade
tertiary
here.
Stations. Warning.
Throw
Electrical
a
charge
grenade
subcritical
there.
and rising. Electric
Don't we
discharge
jump?
sequence
Get
initialized.
out of that.
Where did you get that gold? From that fool Daryl. This will not stop me, Jensen. It's happening. Harriet is compromised. No, wait. It's initiating emergency protocols.
So if I stand right here, I'm safe.
You don't know the resources they have at their disposal,
I just
Jensen.
need to see if they release any more robots.
You have been in over your head the whole time. Initiate dissipation protocol.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Halfway to discharge sequence.
Down you, Daryl.
These guys are running out of these rooms.
Primary pod
In each room is some different
Secondary
stuff.
security measures activated. Evacuate area.
They're just getting electrocuted and killed. Even if you do a non-lethal takedown, they're gonna die if
There
they get
are
on
too
this
many
floor.
contingencies built into the system. You and I have both failed.
Now, it's not like I can just shoot her over there. The shield is still up. It's still this weird system. Are more people just...
Warning. Primary pod station damaged.
No! I will not lose this. too long. Stop now. You want the glory. Is that no one? It is all mine.
That was like all the floor.
For this.
Warning. Primary power station. Failure imminent.
It's getting more and more.
Electrical charge.
This is a nightmare.
Discharge imminent.
And it's kind of dumb that the solution here is just stand on top of this. I think the shield is finally down. So let's hope. Ah, shield is broken. So we can kill her. We killed a lot of other women, why not her too? She's struggling.
No, I can't. I can't take.
Okay. Let's do a little saves coming here. Let's see. And I think now all we have to do is have our decision about what ending we want to take. There's 4 endings with 4 variants of endings. Oh man, they're playing the music again. Hope that doesn't mean something. So there was 3 of these walls which you could have stood on. Under each of these walls is a collection of things that might have been worth picking up or trying to use. Hopefully it's just playing the music. In each of these little barricades was like 3 guys. This guy's as dead as the rest. Why I have room for Typhoon ammo, I don't know. I must have really gone through and used up everything. We could have run up to each one of these and used that. Let's see. I think there's no robot behind there. Yeah, I already blew it up. So you can throw your EMP bombs right at them. Are there only 2 of these? Because I'm only seeing 2. Yeah, there are only 2. Interesting. These people are probably dead. I would assume this one is dead because it's not even there. Yeah, just burnt to a crisp. And here we are. Let's see, let's go ahead and save scum again. We have the 4 options. One is, well, they're gonna explain it, I think.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the Edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Eliza? What are you doing here?
It is my job to monitor and report on the news, Adam. Before Darrow smothered everything with his signal, the whole world was tuned into this place, including me.
The broadcast. I have to stop it.
I know. Please, come closer. Do you know where we are, Adam? We are at the fulcrum point, when society lies in the balance. Hugh Darrow hoped to tip the scales one way, by telling the world everything you already know. About the biochip, the Illuminati, everything. He believed knowing the truth would convince mankind to abandon research into human enhancement technologies forever.
It would certainly give them reason to fear it.
Indeed. Darrow's confession is ready to send. If you want, I can wideband it across all media as soon as you shut down the signal. Everything you worked so hard to uncover will be exposed. But only if you deactivate the broadcast using this control. However, if you desire, I can alter Darrow's message. Conceal the creation of the biochip while putting in new content.
Content blaming the humanity front, like Sarif suggested.
The organization has already admitted to harboring terrorists. It would be easy to convince people they turn to biological warfare in a more desperate attempt to get rid of augmented people.
But why? What would that achieve?
In time, it could shift the focus of hatred onto people whose prejudices are seen as too extreme, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution as they desire. But if you want me to perform this edit for you, you must disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Alternatively, Darrow's message can be adjusted to erase all mention of the power group known as the Illuminati. I can report that lack of proper regulation allowed vast quantities of neuropozyne to become contaminated prior to reaching the market.
Taggart's preference. You think the world will buy a made-up story about neuropozyne poisoning?
You might be surprised by what people believe. I can convince them. And having experienced the negative effects of corporate negligence firsthand, a majority of people might force the world to place harsh restrictions on all human enhancement research. But only if you disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Of course, there is another option. This passage leads to Panchaea's pressure regulation controls. Destroy them and the installation will cave in on itself, overwhelmed by the weight of the ocean pressing against it. Everyone inside the structure will die.
That's a solution?
No one will be left to tell the world what happened, Adam. Nobody will be able to spin the story.
Including me.
The choice is yours. Do you believe you have the wisdom to choose an appropriate future for mankind? Or do you trust mankind to find the answers on its own?
Okay, so each one of these is a different ending. It's kind of weird how it's all just getting laid out here. And then we could go over here, and if we look at the map, go over to this side and blow up the facility, which is a kind of a weird solution. And of those four endings, depending on how we played, we would get slightly different text, but the video I think is going to be exactly the same as far as our endings go. So what we need to do is save Scum one last time. And we're going to go through them all. But we think Darrow's is probably what Mankind Divided is going to be about. Or possibly, let's see. Well, it could be any of them, really. Because we know from the little previews we've seen of Mankind Divided that any of those outcomes is still going to bring about the same resentment of augments, but not completely get rid of it. So even the self-destruct kind of would go to Mankind Divided, but obviously the self-destruct option is not the right option that they're going to choose for the storyline, because Adam Jensen survives. So unless the self-destruct was the option he chose, it's kind of a weird thing. As a video game person, you're never going to really say, no, I don't have the moral fortitude to make this decision. You want to play as the person who does have the ability and the moral right, as you would say, I guess, to do it. So I suspect heavily that the Darrow option is the right option that's going to be in the next game. And because of that, we're going to start with this one and then see it. Settle in, this episode may go long. I don't think I'm going to break up each ending. We may skip the credits. Or, you know what, we'll watch the credits once and then skip them for the others.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice?
So, we've seen this world. There is nothing that would convince them to get rid of all technology. Well, I mean, if you knew the Illuminati was controlling every single piece of your equipment and lying to you and spying on you, maybe it would go back to just a pre-technology times. But I really don't think. I think people are too addicted to their tech to do that. They may get rid of augments, yes, and maybe they should, but I don't think they'd get rid of all computers. I don't, and the way this is being phrased, it's like, yes, all computers, all circuitry, everything would be thrown away, and I'm like, no. Let's say yes and see what happens, or what's implied to happen.
So be it then.
Albert Einstein said, technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Took me a while, but I finally see his point. How often have we chased the dream of progress only to see it perverted? More often than not, haven't the machines we built to improve life shattered the lives of millions? And now we want to turn that dream on ourselves to fundamentally improve who we are. Experience has shown me how dangerous that can be. How many times in the Call of Duty did I almost fall into the trap of taking shortcuts, abusing my abilities or the resources at hand? I resisted. Barely at times, because I valued human lives and considerations. Can I truly despise others who fall? Technology offers us strength. Strength enables dominance, and dominance paves the way for abuse. Darrow understood this. He knew that using technology to become something more than we are risks losing our ability to love, aspire, or make moral choices. The very things that make us human. It also risks giving some men the power to make others what they choose, regardless of the cost to human dignity. The suffering Darrow inflicted is not the end of the world. It is merely the seed for change. And change never comes without pain.
So, definitely a good use of, like, bot video footage. I kind of wish stuff like that was used more in video games. Because that was really good looking and nice, and it actually looks way better than the game itself. Nowadays, that entire ending would have been in-game animated, every single scene, regardless of how different or diverse it was that you saw there. Every single flash of an image would have been in the game, and it would have looked a lot better but still not as good as just showing footage that actually exists in the real world. So I think that would be the right ending. The ending that I would truly pick. It doesn't really go into Mankind Divided very well, though. Because we know Mankind Divided cannot be set in a future where there's no technology. That would just be too far away from the Deus Ex games. And we want them to get more augments. Augments are the important part of this game. So if the world was really all about turning off augments, you would have to play with no abilities whatsoever, which would be kind of boring. So I doubt Square Enix is really going to be playing off this multiple endings. And inherently, this is the problem with multiple endings, and this game in particular doesn't have a real reason to have multiple endings. Because nobody should play this game 4 times all the way through just to see those different endings. And they don't have to. There's been enough autosaves that we could... You could go back at least to the last boss fight and load that up and do it again. Notice that we're not seeing a ton of people's names on this credits roll. That's not very surprising. Look, animators. 5 animators. Inherently, this is what has destroyed my confidence in Mankind Divided being a AAA game. If it is a good game, I cannot say. I mean, it hasn't come out yet, and I could be totally wrong. It could be a AAA game when it comes out. But I just don't think their team is big enough. I don't think it's going to be but a single A style game. I think the world is not going to be an open sandbox. If it will probably be 2 to 3 times as bigger than all the levels we've seen here. This game has been going on for quite a long time for the DLC, by the way. Playing this with the DLC added in has been over 71 hours for me. At least that's what Steam says, so maybe I left it running. But it certainly feels like it's been around 60 hours, which is probably a little too long considering what it has us doing and the repetitive nature of just sneaking down corridors and knocking people out. And inherently in Mankind Divided, they are going to have to figure out for different things for us to do, because I certainly, after playing this, would not want to go through another 60-hour game where I'm sneaking down hallways and knocking people out. I want to see way more conversation, Casey things. I would maybe even suggest that they shift half of the game into more of a investigation style game, like we saw in a few points here in this game. Just questioning people, looking for evidence, searching areas freely instead of sneaking behind bell tower guy after bell tower guy. Let's see. We're up to suppliers now. I think Nixus there was probably the company that they had in charge of doing the boss battles, because they show up right at the beginning of the game. It's Square Enix, it's Eidos Montreal, then it's Nixus. Making of team. I have no idea what the commentary would be. It really we'll check that out. I am gonna probably do one more episode after this, just so we do check out what the New Game Plus is, and we'll turn on the director's commentary. There was nobody in that Panchea on easy that was really fighting me at all. That cannot be how it was before. They were either fighting me I played this on Xbox 360, so either in the non-director's cut, they fight you on any difficulty level, or they fight you on normal and above, and I was just playing on easy. Any way you roll that, though, that is a really bad way for it to do it. If you're on easy and nobody for an entire level is going to attack you, I might as well have not walked through any of that level. It was pointless. It was just wandering into the 3 people and their options. Now, if I hadn't talked to some of those people, I think I still would have gotten the option. Now, we didn't kill a ton of people. We did kill several, though, on accident. I would say maybe 20 or 30 characters in the whole game, so we didn't get the achievement. It would be possible to do. It would just take a long time. You'd have to sit there, save, make sure the guy doesn't fall off the edge or into the sewer and drown. If he falls off a high ledge, he'll die too. You don't have to probably worry about killing any of the guys in the final boss room. Usually in the boss areas, killing people doesn't count. And they were getting electrocuted by the computer, not me, so is that really my fault if they died? But because I didn't kill that many people, I got, I think, the good ending of David Darrow's, or whatever ending this is. Is his name Darrow's, I believe? There's David Seraph, but they were just calling him Seraph. And then Darrow's, I think, is the guy who invented it. And I would definitely want to, I would definitely like to have known more about his story. Maybe he came up in the original Deus Ex game, or in The Invisible War, which is the second Deus Ex game, and from all I've heard isn't very good. I will play those 2 games eventually, but probably not anytime soon. So I would kind of like to know his story some more and figure out how all of this augmentation stuff came about. There's kind of probably a lot of world building backstory that could have been more spoken, and I bet there was a ton of it written and I just didn't read it. The email system in this game needs to be reworked real bad. Even with the silly, you can only have 4 or 5 emails. I saw one computer with 6. It's too much, just too much reading. He should get, particularly in this game, what you could do is you could get an augment for free at the very beginning that just says email scanner, and it would just automatically scan the emails and black out everything except for the passwords, so you don't have to read it. Or, better yet than doing that, is get a text-to-speech augment where it just reads it out loud. And I don't even care if they hire a voice actor to read it out loud. They could just have it be a text-to-speech engine in the game. Here we go. A big thanks to all of these people and their fake names. Acid Burn. That's the name of the hacker in Hackers.
You worry too much, Morgan.
Or
There's
two
nothing we
hackers.
can't manage given time. She's here. I have to cut this short. Keep going through the wreckage. Maybe we'll find something we can use for the Morpheus initiative. Come in. Dr. Reed. We're so pleased you decided to join us.
Where else could I go?
No regrets, my dear. As Ariadne told Theseus before he entered the Minotaur's labyrinth, always forward, never left or right. You'll be very interested in our current project. We're breaking new ground.
Yes, the nanite virus chimera is quite intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing the hybrid project up close, Mr. Page.
and so you shall. But please, call me Bob.
So, that's the secret. That was the guy at the very beginning of the game. Way at the beginning when we saw the Illuminati. And he's talking to Dr. Reed. And so obviously she's either been kidnapped again or she was working for the Illuminati the whole time. And the achievement for this is called the D Project, whatever that is supposed to mean. I assume they will take the story from that point here in Mankind Divided, because timeline-wise, this is, well, actually, I think timeline-wise, we would go from here to the original Deus Ex, and then Invisible War, and then Mankind Divided is even further. But I'm not sure Adam Jensen is the same character you play in the original Deus Ex. Let me know down in the comments if he is, if you always play as Adam Jensen, except for in the fall, of course, you didn't play as him there. Is this just gonna play music the whole time, or did we just have to hit the button? Well, it would be silly to sit here and listen to music and not do anything else. I don't think there's gonna be two secret endings. And if I sit here and listen to the music, who's to say I don't have to cut the music out anyway? So, instead of sitting here, let's go see the other endings. A button does nothing, B button does nothing, X button does nothing, Y button does nothing. Start, and then A button to skip. Well, maybe it's wrapping up here. Oh, good. Alright. So, if I click, we have now New Game Plus, and credits would be nothing, and extra, it's just this still. Continue, and continue should load my latest one. Good. So Serifs makes kind of sense too, but even Taggart's makes sense as the ending. I think it all puts you at about the same place for Mankind Divided.
If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice?
I'd like to see Eliza come back in Mankind Divided. In some small part. I don't think she should play a huge part. So yeah, let's do his.
So be it then.
Sarif was right about one thing. It's in our nature to want to rise above our limits. Think about it. We were cold, so we harnessed fire. We were weak, so we invented tools. Every time we met an obstacle, we used creativity and ingenuity to overcome it. The cycle is inevitable. But will the outcome always be good? I guess that will depend on how we approach it. These past few months, I was challenged many times. But more often than not, didn't I try to keep morality in mind, knowing that my actions didn't have to harm others? Time and time again, didn't I resist the urge to abuse power and resources simply to achieve my goals more swiftly? In the past, we've had to compensate for weaknesses, finding quick solutions that only benefit a few. But what if we never need to feel weak or morally conflicted again? What if the path Sarif wants us to take enables us to hold on to higher values with more stability? One thing is obvious. For the first time in history, we have a chance to steal fire from the gods. To turn away from it now, to stop pursuing a future in which technology and biology combine, leading to the promise of a singularity, would mean to deny the very essence of who we are. No doubt the road to get there will be bumpy, hurting some people along the way. But won't achieving the dream be worth it? We can become the gods we've always been striving to be. We might as well get good at it.
That's a little creepy. I wonder if they are gonna have babies that are just born with augments and mankind divided. That'd be cool. So, as far as my own personal opinion, I think that ending is where the world should go. But I think there should probably be some regulation to it. I don't think that it should just be corporations who's. If you ever heard anybody who runs a corporation, they clearly say they have a moral imperative to make more money and nothing else. So I don't think I would trust them unfettered by government or perhaps some other agency with some higher morals than the moral to make more money. But I do want to see more evolution. And then he mentioned the singularity or a singularity. And what that is in sci-fi, if you're not aware, is a point where humans stop really needing their bodies and just live in computers, and they might actually meld together as a single consciousness or come somewhat close to that. So let's go ahead and see what Taggart's. I guess maybe I'd use Taggart's, but then that leaves the Illuminati in control, and the Illuminati is not who I would want in control in this world. I mean, they've done some really nasty and bad stuff working for with some really bad people.
If you do this, first-hand experience with corporate negligence on such a grand scale may convince mankind to enact harsh restrictions on human enhancement research. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Freedom. To those who don't have it, it's more valuable than gold. But where should it start and end? We humans often think we have the right to expand, absorb, convert, or possess anything we need to reach our dreams. But time and time again, hasn't this led to conflicts with others who essentially believe the same thing? Looking back on the challenges I faced, at the way I often resolve them, I realize morality can become our saving grace. Most of the time, didn't I try to keep my values in mind, knowing how my actions would affect others? More often than not, I resisted the urge to abuse power and resources simply to reach my goals more swiftly. I managed to hang on to my humanity, but the temptation to ignore it was always there. It's that temptation that so worries Taggart. He's not afraid of freedom. He's afraid of the chaos that erupts when individuals have nothing but morality to constrain them. He wants us to regulate enhancement technologies because he fears all that power without limits, without guide rails to keep us from abusing it. Absolute freedom is no better than chaos. Society needs laws and regulations to protect it. So if the men and women behind Taggart need to work in the shadows, pulling strings to enable us to head in a safe direction, will supporting them be all that bad? If they're as wise as Taggart says, how bad will their leadership be? I just hope they stand by what they say.
So, what's weird is once you watch all the endings, they all kind of make a good point. Even Taggart's, which on the face of it, before you see the ending, you're like, no, why would you help the Illuminati? You've been fighting them this whole time. But when you see the ending, it kind of makes a good point. And honestly, if the only way there is any constraint whatsoever, because these are all straw men, really, arguments. It's like you can either have a terrible organization like the Illuminati control things so there's any restriction whatsoever, or you can have a idealist like Seraph have no restrictions and hope he does only good things, or you can have a uh, alarmist, perhaps like Darrow's, who would deny the technology for everyone. I mean, all very much strawman arguments. I would take a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, a little bit of column C, and just find something happy in the middle. And I maybe the happy in the middle is destroying the facility and letting somebody else decide, which is just ridiculous. It's one thing to uh, turn off the broadcast and not send out any message and just let people wonder. It's totally different to have to kill every single person on this base so there's just no witnesses. You're killing all the witnesses basically. This is a purely evil choice that is just because you don't want to decide. And you're better off picking Taggart's if you instead of blowing up the facility. Really. You're better off picking Taggart's message or any of the others. Any of these are way better than destroying the facility. Also, notice on all these endings, it has said I have tried to uphold my morals and not use my abilities to cheat. That obviously is the good or maybe the neutral versions of all of these. If I had killed tons of people, I imagine it would have been the bad ending, or if I had done about this equal amount, yeah, I imagine it would have been the neutral ending. Also, it might have nothing to do with how many people you kill, and everything to do with just the outcomes you picked in some of the previous missions. So we're running a little long. Let's blow up this facility and see the ending, and then we'll kind of wrap up. I think we'll do mostly a wrap up here, but I am going to do one more episode on New Game Plus to show that off, and I'll probably do a little bit more wrap up there. I guess. Yeah.
If you do this, the world will be left with questions and may never reach a consensus. Are you sure this is your choice?
I wish there was a different way to have this happen. And there definitely is. You could have turned off the signal only and then just have Eliza discredit anybody who says anything on any side, so that there just is no consensus ever.
We have little time left, Adam. And might I say, it has been a pleasure.
It also kills Eliza, I think, too. Ooh, hadn't thought of that.
Do I trust mankind to save itself? That's what Eliza was asking. The truth is, I don't know. After everything I've seen, all the fighting and the chaos around me. I only know what I want to believe. Somehow, human decency will triumph. These past few months, I've faced many life-threatening situations. I could have given up many times, but my need to know the truth, to uncover the secrets that others were hiding, and to survive forced me to keep on going. Most of the time, I tried to keep my values in mind, knowing my actions did not have to harm others. I held on to my humanity, resisting the urge to abuse power or resources in order to meet my goals. And in the end, I got the job done. But does this mean I have the right to choose for everyone? No. Because it isn't up to me. It isn't up to Darrow, Sarif, or Taggart either. Ordinary men and women will have to decide together what course mankind should take. The kind of people who time and time again have picked and chosen the future in highly practical ways, slowing change when it's negative, speeding it up when it's good. Can they do it again? I don't know. But I do know I'm not about to let anyone in this station, myself included, stand in their way.
Okay, well see, now that almost certainly is not the ending that's going to be in Mankind Divided. But I do kind of like the idea there, that he's just not going to choose. It would be quite surprising if that actually did turn out to be the ending that they chose for Mankind Divided. I don't think it's going to be a situation where if you pop Mankind Divided in, it's going to ask you what ending you picked, or look at your save file and see what ending you picked. I don't think that they have the team again to do that. So let's just, in case you want to skip next episode, which I hope you don't, it's just going to be one more episode. We'll go real long if it happens to go real long, because we're going to see what the new Game Plus is like, which I think is kind of an important add-on for the director's cut. And with almost all the augments now, I would definitely like to see if we can get anywhere in that first mission before we set off an alarm or alarm anybody. But this game has problems and it's old. Also, I want to say at those endings, remember this game is like 2011, 2012. So there's a lot of footage there of Enron and an oil spill that happened, and there was pictures of one of the presidents of some Middle Eastern country, which I don't think he's the president there anymore, because there's been quite a lot of upheaval. And even for me to try and equate this to 2015 political standings, everything is quite different. A lot has changed in the years. And no, I don't think this game did come out in 2012. That seems too close. That'd only be like 3 years old. I think this game's considerably older than that. Maybe like 6. So maybe it came out in 2002. If anybody knows the date this game came out, put it in the comments below. I'm sure people would know. Or you can just search Wikipedia. I looked it up and I think I mentioned it at the very first episode of this series. My point is, they used live footage and they used news footage of things that aren't super relevant today. We haven't really grown in leaps and bounds as far as technology and augment technology in particular, but just regular real world things. I kind of wish I had played this game a little bit more morally and really had pulled off the no kill, no alarm achievements. That would have been really cool, even though I know I'm playing on easy and that means I'm still not going to get the super hard achievements, which is going to be a consideration next episode. I think we probably will just play on super hard and see how that works. But like I said before, I don't have confidence in the in Mankind Divided being anything but like this game, which is it's a good game. I'll say that when it came out, it was a good game. But I don't think it's gonna be a great game. I don't think it's gonna be a real Game of the Year type game. Of course, all games get a Game of the Year award from somebody and release a Game of the Year edition, but I don't think it's going to win 2015's in any real contest. I think it will be about 3 times as big as far as level design and just about as long, if not a little bit shorter, than what we've gone through because of the DLC. Yeah, I think we probably will see DLC if their crazy augment your pre-order marketing scheme, which everybody at this point has completely hated, is any indication, then almost certainly there will be some DLC they will try to sell you, and they'll probably try and sell it to you too early. So I'd mostly say I tell people don't ever pre-order, but in particular this game, Mankind Divided, don't pre-order it. There's plenty of digital copies in Steam. In fact, there's an unlimited number of digital copies in Steam, so you don't need to pre-order it. The only things you need to pre-order are things that might actually run out, and that's never going to be video games. There's plenty of copies, and they can always burn a new one. I hope they add a few augments. I hope they improve upon and have some upgrades to a lot of the augments. We didn't use a lot of the augments as much as we probably should. And I hope we start off with some like level 1 of everything. So there's something to it. Even like silencing your walk. That should have been, there should be like a level 1 that takes a lot of battery and only silences maybe when you are crouched down. But the fact that we had to spend 2 praxis points to unlock that, and then 3 more praxis points I believe to get it to include jumping and landing and running, meant a lot of praxis points went into just being able to turn invisible and run past somebody. And then you had to spend several praxis points to turn invisible. And then we didn't use the turn invisible ability as much as we probably should. I would suggest a lot of people look at guides as to what they should unlock first as far as praxis points. Because there seems like there's only one perfect way to unlock things. Some things don't help as much as you think they would. For example, picking up heavy objects. Not really that useful. It got me over one fence in Detroit, and it got me through, I'm sure, a couple dozen locations if you're trying to sneak around through air vents, but not really that helpful. Graphics on this look horrible by 2015 standards. Hopefully, Mankind Divided holds up a lot better. I'm sure it will look great when it comes out in 2015, but I hope it looks even better than great and holds up better. Now, all of this being said and me being a little down with it, this really is the only game I can think of right now that has this whole cyberpunk future storyline that you could really get into. You could do like Portal, that's kind of cyberpunk future, but it doesn't have augments, it doesn't have cyborgs running around. I cannot really think of another series that would even come somewhat close to this. Metal Gear Solid is probably another series that is close to this, and it just came out, Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. So that is a game that, if I was itching for more gameplay somewhat similar to this, I think I might play Metal Gear Solid. It definitely, from what I've heard of other people who played it, has some interesting stuff to it, while it still has a lot of random weirdness to it, even not a ton of random weirdness in this game, but it does have this kind of weird situation of we ended up dealing with some women in some strange ways that I hope they think those things through a little bit more. Anyways, I guess at almost an hour, we don't need to listen to the music and all that. That's gonna be this series. I want to say thank you first of all for watching this. I know I totally messed up making these 30-minute episodes. I should have made them an hour. I am almost certainly going to always do an hour for any game where there's any question whatsoever. And just get away from 30-minute episodes. However, that being said, because I've made 30-minute episodes, the series may have gone on forever, and that may have given me more free time to record other series. So thanks for bearing through this and helping me with that. It's not like you really had a choice, but that's alright. And then, of course, if this is the first episode you've ever watched, click on my name, Rydo. That'll get you to my main YouTube page. Click that playlist tab. Find Deus Ex Human Revolution. Click that playlist. You can watch them all in a row. And that solves all of that problem. For everybody except for my most loyal fans who suffer because they love me. And have to watch things every Monday through Friday as videos come out. But yeah, thanks for watching this. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. I cannot imagine playing this as a bad guy and killing everybody. I don't think you would. That fits my style at all. Just running around shooting people, particularly since there's so many civilians in the game. And I think you wouldn't be having as much fun. If you've got no augments whatsoever in this game and just upgraded guns and shot people, you'd be having a considerably different... Nah, I'd say you'd be having a completely different experience with the game. That might be an interesting thing if they do on Mankind Divided, where your credits can clearly either be spent on augments or guns, but one or the other. So if the praxis points were, you spend one praxis point on the gun, you can upgrade either its damage, its reload speed, its range or something like that, or you get an augmented ability. That might have created a very interesting balance and game mechanic. Instead, what we had in this was kind of the old-fashioned way of doing it, where you can do both, and as long as you run around and find them all. And boy, did we run around and find a ton of stuff that's going to be pointless when New Game Plus comes around, because we're not keeping any of that, I'm certain. This is the only thing I do is critique video games and play through them. This is my job, so it would be very much appreciated if you again go to my main YouTube page, click on my name, it gets you there, hopefully, and on the right is that blue button that you may have heard about that says support this channel. Yeah, that's not an ad. Click that and make a donation to me. It would be very much appreciated. Any amount is appreciated. If you give me $2, I might be able to trade that into 2 games next Steam summer sale. So any amount would help me continue to cover games. There's a lot of old games I'd like to get and cover. A lot of new games I'd like to cover too. As more and more donations come in, that's when I can start spending the $60 for a brand new game that just came out. I'll even pre-order even though I tell other people not to. Because for me, if I know I'm going to play it, if it's part of my job, it makes sense. And then the last thing is, it helps me and it helps you know when new videos come out. But it helps me with social media sites like LinkedIn. No, I'm not on LinkedIn. What was that? Twitter, Google Plus, Steam. You can friend me on that. Battle.net. You can friend me on that. And Tumblr. And did I say Twitter? Yes. Yeah, there might be even some more links down below. Let me know in the comments if there's something else I should be on. I have it set up so you people that follow me on those things, I'm on Facebook too, and see exactly when videos come out, and that helps me. It makes it a lot better for me if people watch my videos as soon as they come out. Gives me quicker numbers about who liked it. It might get me better feedback. If you see a video as soon as it comes out and it has, say, a video glitch or an audio glitch, or I'm just playing it wrong, and I'm legitimately playing it wrong, and it's not just an opinion, you could put that in the comment. I might be able to see that. Then next episode I record, whether it's the next one that airs or not, I can correct for that. But if nobody watches my videos until a month later, well, I've recorded the entire series at that point, so I can't fix it. At best, I could, at some point in the future, play the game again and try and fix it. And that's about it. We've been going well over our usual 30 minutes. Thank you for watching this series. Come back for the next episode. We will try New Game Plus out for about 30 minutes on hard with the commentary and just see what we really see. See what's different. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.